Hey there, sports history fan. Arnie Chapman here from the Sports History Network. Now, before you jump into this episode, I wanted to share with you an exciting giveaway we have going on with Home Field Apparel. We have a digital $50 gift card to homefieldapparel.com for one lucky fan of the Sports History Network. All you got to do is head over to sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways to sign up. Again, that's sportshistorynetwork.com/giveaways.
Hello, this is Ross Bliley from the podcast Pigskin Tales. This podcast is sponsored by Sterling Soap Company. With products sold throughout 41 locations around the globe, Sterling Soap Company has a unique assortment of products to choose from for your loved one for the holidays. Handmade artisan soaps created by Roderick and Amanda Lovin since 2012, these products are affordable and provide great value. Act now and save on your shipping costs. If you purchase $75 or more, your shipping cost is free in the United States. Shop now online at sterlingsoap.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Yesterday Sports on the Sports History Network. Today we will have part 3 of the frustrating history of the New York Jets. We left off last week, the year 1984, so we'll begin part 3 with the 1985 season. The Jets began the 1985 season with Ken O'Brien as their quarterback and suffered a loss to the Raiders 31-0 in the season opener. However, they rebounded the following week by dominating the Buffalo Bills 42-3. They went on to win 6 of their next 7 games, putting them at the top of the AFC Eastern Division with a 7-2 record. The season concluded with an 11-5 record, but they were defeated by the Patriots in the playoffs 26-14. Players Freeman McNeil, Ken O'Brien, Mark Gastineau, Joe Klecko, and linebacker Lance Mell were selected for the Pro Bowl, and Klecko also earned All-Pro honors. After 11 games in the 1986 season, the Jets held a record of 10-1. Could this be their year? After 17 years of frustration, the Jets had a solid chance of reaching the Super Bowl. Jets fans envisioned a New York versus New York Super Bowl, given that the Giants posted a record of 9-2. The Giants went on to win all their remaining games, including the Super Bowl. The Jets suffered a crushing defeat, losing 45-3 in a Monday night game against the Dolphins in Week 12, from which they never recovered. They lost their next 4 games, none of which were even close, before defeating the Chiefs in the wild card playoff. However, they fell to the Browns in overtime the following week, ending their season. Tight end Mickey Schuler earned a spot in the Pro Bowl, while receiver Al Toon was selected for both the Pro Bowl and All-Pro honors. The Jets began the 1987 season with a 2-0 record, but all NFL games in Week 3 were canceled due to a player's strike. The subsequent 3 games featured replacement players who finished with a 1-2 record, bringing the Jets to a 3-2 record before the regular players returned. Unfortunately, they won only 3 of their next 10 games, finishing the season at 6-9. Only Al Toon was selected for the Pro Bowl. After starting the 1988 season with a 28-3 loss to the Patriots, the Jets won their next 2 games by a combined score of 68-6. However, the rest of the season was more of the same old Jets. They concluded with an 8-7-1 record and were out of playoff contention. Al Toon, Mickey Schuler, and defensive back Eric McMillan were named to the Pro Bowl, with McMillan earning the title of Defensive Rookie of the Year. The Jets had another disappointing season in 1989, finishing the year with a 4-12 record. In their final 3 games, they played like a team that had given up on their coach, losing by a combined score of 88-14. Only Eric McMillan made the Pro Bowl. From 1970 to 1989, the Jets recorded just 5 winning seasons and reached only 1 championship game. The future didn't seem any brighter. The year 1990 began with a new coach, Bruce Coslett, but the losing continued. Their record was 6-10, and no player made it to the Pro Bowl. They improved slightly in 1991, finishing at 8-8. Despite the poor record, they qualified for the playoffs, but lost to the Houston Oilers. Ken O'Brien made the Pro Bowl. Whenever the team showed signs of improvement, they would fall back into their losing habits. They concluded the 1992 season with a 4-12 record, and no players made the Pro Bowl. After 11 games in the 1993 season, the Jets held a 7-4 record, with a good chance of making the playoffs. But in true Jets fashion, they lost 4 of their next 5 games to end up 8-8. Quarterback Boomer Esiason made the Pro Bowl. The coaching caravan continued in 1994 with Pete Carroll at the helm, and nothing changed. They finished 6-10, and receiver Rob Moore was their only Pro Bowl selection. Rich Kotite took over as head coach in 1995, and things went from bad to worse. The team ended up with a 3-13 record. The only bright spot was that defensive end Hugh Douglas won the Rookie Defensive Player of the Year award. The Jets finished the 1996 season with a record of 1 win and 15 losses, marking their worst performance in team history. Rich Kotite was dismissed and succeeded by Bill Parcells, who promptly revitalized the team. In the opening game of the 1997 season, the Jets triumphed over the Seahawks 41-3. With a record of 8-4 after 12 games, the Jets appeared poised for success. But despite having a future Hall of Fame coach, the team faltered, losing 3 of their final 4 games and missing the playoffs. Cornerback Aaron Glenn earned a Pro Bowl selection. 5 games into the 1998 season, the Jets were 2-3, and it looked like another long season ahead. However, they turned it around, going 10-1 in their next 11 games. They secured their first division title since 1969 with a 12-4 record and defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars in the playoffs, marking their 7th consecutive win. For just the 3rd time in team history, the Jets reached the championship game. They held a 10-0 lead against the Broncos early in the 3rd quarter, but it wasn't to be. They ultimately lost 23-10, and the Broncos proceeded to win the Super Bowl. Aside from their 1968 Super Bowl victory, this was the Jets' best season ever. Quarterback Vinny Testaverde, running back Curtis Martin, receiver Keyshawn Johnson, and cornerback Aaron Glenn all made the Pro Bowl, while linebacker Mo Johnson earned both Pro Bowl and All-Pro honors. But the great season was too good to be true. quarterback Vinny Testaverde suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon in the first game of 1999, and the Jets ended the season with an 8-8 record. At the conclusion of the season, Bill Parcells resigned as head coach, and Al Groh took over as the new coach. Keyshawn Johnson and Mo Lewis were selected for the Pro Bowl, while center Kevin Mawai not only made the Pro Bowl, but also earned All-Pro honors. 7 games into the 2000 season, the Jets had a strong start at 6-1. But as usual, they faltered, losing 6 of their next 9 to finish with a 9-7 record and missing the playoffs. Fullback Richie Anderson and Bo Lewis were also named to the Pro Bowl. In 2001, the team started with a new head coach, Herman Edwards, who led them to a 10-6 record before their playoff elimination by the Raiders. Curtis Martin, Kevin Mawai, and defensive end John Abraham earned Pro Bowl selections, with Mawai and Abraham also receiving All-Pro honors. The Jets concluded the 2002 season with a 9-7 record, qualifying for the playoffs, where they dominated the Colts 41-0. However, the following week they faced the Raiders and lost 30-10. Kevin Mawai and John Abraham both returned to the Pro Bowl. As has been their history, the Jets could never string together more than 2 or 3 good seasons consecutively. They finished the 2003 season with a 6-10 record, featuring Kevin Mawai and defensive end Sean Ellis, both of whom made the Pro Bowl. In 2004, they flipped their record from the previous year, ending at 10-6. and defeating the Chargers in the playoffs, before losing to the Steelers in overtime the following week. Curtis Martin, Kevin Mawai, and John Abraham made the Pro Bowl, with Martin earning All-Pro honors and linebacker Jonathan Vilma winning the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Well, that will conclude our podcast for today. Join again next week, and we'll have the final part 4. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and God bless.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com. Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude. And I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website, seriously, all you got to do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you got to do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.